We have finally arrived. BageTT. We've been watching this lad all day. He's been slaying. He's been tapping them out. The longer his series goes, the stronger he gets. He's in full anime main character mode. But if he's in full anime main character mode, then he just discovered the end boss of the entire series. The truest battle of all, because he, if he wants to survive through to day number 2 of Winter Series 3, will have to slay MarineLorD. MarineLorD, the current reigning champion of Winter Series 1 and 2. And he has not looked like a pushover. He's 2-0'd everyone. He's been waiting every round. He's been checking his clock. He's been, second blue, where's the opponent? Or maybe he doesn't have a watch. But you know what? If he wins here again, he'll be able to afford a watch. Maybe BageTT can afford a watch himself. Or even to order a lifetime supply of BageTT. I don't know how much $12,000 gets you in real life. We'll find out later on, though. We've got a game underway. Let's get into it, because it's going to be a mirror matchup to open up on Dry Arabia. England versus England. And I, being English, am an expert in this. And what is it with French people being obsessed with England and England being obsessed with France? Well, my friends, that is a conversation that has stretched over 100 years in a war at one point. So I will leave that to historians that still explain it to this day, because I have not got that much time in the broadcast to explain it. But this matchup, England versus England, MarineLorD plays a very spooky and different type of England. But BageTT has proven capable of doing the same. Remember, we saw BageTT earlier today playing up against the Mongols as England. That was a game against Kelazor. If you haven't watched it yet, I'm not going to fully spoil how it ends, but I will tell you that BageTT did go for the multi-TC strategy. This multi-TC strategy that MarineLorD has kind of patented, slapped his face on the side of, and thumbs up for a while now. He is the longest running player I have seen consistently engaging with the secondary TC drop in Feudal. And I expect to see it in this game. Dry Arabia, very exploitable map in this situation in England on England matchup. He needs to keep the pace of Lombos, but Lombos, although they can reach deep, with good positioning on your TC, you can easily cover a certain area of your base and protect it for economy expansions. And I have to say, this is a very good layout to do exactly that. He can palisade all these sides here, he can palisade the back, and then he can extend all of his economy back here into farmlands. This is a very nice spawn. On the other side, BageTT, a lot more open, a lot more difficult to do that, and I wouldn't be surprised if BageTT plays more aggressively. He might have to as well, just because of the generation. So MarineLorD also, by the way, BageTT, when he done this, the big difference, I believe chat is going to be yelling Will Bora. That's our new thing. It's important to mention, because BageTT, one of his big issues that he didn't engage with in the last game we saw him in is wheelbarrow tech. Wheelbarrow tech is fantastic in most games. Some games, it is absolutely an outright requirement. This could be one of those type of games, especially if you start talking about going up to 3 TCs and then rippling across the map to these greedy eco pockets, which is what you want to do. This type of game could easily lead into a late castle, and we could find ourselves turning this into a resource battle very quickly. It all comes down to if one player all ends on a ram rush in the early phases of the game. And there's the TC. Or at least the intent for TCs. And this might be a switch up and a half. Remember, MarineLorD, he's had plenty of time to wait around. He probably saw some of the games from before that BageTT's been playing, because while BageTT has been having to go to the third game a few times, MarineLorD has so far 2-0'd everyone he's faced. So he's had plenty of time to research his opponents. It's one of the big edges of, like, you know, being ahead of the competition, waiting for your opponents, is you get to view what they like to do. And at a high level, that is an incredibly powerful tool. Especially when you're talking about these very condensed events. These aren't like 5-day events where it's 2 series a day and you have time to research on each of your opponents. We're talking about 2 days for how many matches? We're talking 5 best of 3s and a best of 5. In fact, it can be even longer if you have more people sign up, right? Because obviously this time around it was just round of 64, but I think the previous one had a round of 128, which is a best of 1. But yeah, in terms of like your tournament run, you're talking 5 best of 3s and a best of 5 in one day, which is quite the hefty schedule. And if you, like I said, if you're ahead, that's a big edge. There's really no time for your opponents to catch up on researching you. The only edge BageTT could have is obviously MarineLorD has made it a lot further than he has in these tournaments, which means he's had plenty of time to watch MarineLorD in action. And look at this, the greed on MarineLorD. Efficiency with the Lombos, making sure he keeps as many of these deer close. This is really smart, remember, because sometimes the villagers get too close, they scare off the deer. And look how stacked they are. This is really great value. And this is something that will be unexpected. You wouldn't expect an England player to do this. Look how far out the deer stack is. It's incredibly greedy. But the reason he's doing this is MarineLorD's intent is to set the tempo. He hasn't gone onto the stone. And I think Baguette's going to be tripped up by this. We just talked about how MarineLorD has almost every game we've seen gone for that secondary TC. So Baguette himself is going to go into TC. But remember that Baguette done this earlier today. MarineLorD may have seen that. And as a result, he looks to set the tempo. He's going to play very greedy with his pocket expansions. But it means that he's getting better bang for buck on the food front because there's no similar comparative coming out of Baguette. And instead, it is going to be the secondary TC. Dropped next to the wood line. He's already walled this in. Very critical you do this when you're talking about being up against England. Their raid force is incredibly slow, incredibly static. If you create this long divide, like what happens is if they raid on the right side and they can't get past this closure, which they won't be able to easily due to the TC, then instead they have to wrap all the way around to the left. Because you've walled this off, there's no poke in the middle. So it takes them double the time, and we're talking about a unit that moves at 1.12 tiles. So basically, wheelchair speed if you have no hands to push yourself, I think is the best way to think about it. God, that's a dark thought. But fairly true and accurate. So town battles will ring off. One villager gets sniped out. He sees what his opponent has done. Doesn't see the second TC yet, though. That's been well hidden. And that's a cool detail that Baguette engages with here. If he dropped the TC between the two, like, wood points, it's a bit greedy. I think can be a little bit exploited. If he dropped it further out to the left at the berry bush, probably going to get seen. It's tight around here. So if MarineLorD wants to see it, he's going to run around the corner and probably lose a few units to do so. And another cool move. He's just creating these small gaps. I talked about this in a previous series. It's really important to try and engage with this on Dry Arabia. Don't make full walls. It's just all about delaying your opponent and making sure they don't have an instant stab in. And now you have this awkward situation where you have to walk around further. You're going to, as a result, put the villagers further away from you. And it looks like he's going to continue the line. So now there's no easy entrance on the right. And I think this is the moment where MarineLorD needs to prep the siege engineering, because he might be forced into a very early battering ram if he wants to defend him, if he wants to actually double down on this. So still access on the west side. MarineLorD has scouted this out, but he's going to be too late at this rate. He needs to block up the scout. This could be really smart. If he blocks with the scout here, he'll have an in. However, if he does go in, he's going to be in. There's going to be no way out afterwards. So he has to really be careful about this when he makes this decision. But here it comes. Scout in position. We'll block the wall going up. Longbowman moving across. Two villagers here, easy to snipe. And he still has more longbowmen than his opponent, despite the fact that it is Baguette's base. There we go, one volley. And he backs off. Even though he has the town bell, he wants to get a few more longbows to confidently take this fight. And that will allow MarineLorD to move in. And this is important. He might be outnumbered soon. He might lose the force, but in the meantime, it's about bang for buck, right? If you build these longbowmen and run them back to base and do nothing with them, it means you sacrifice your own scalability in the process. So MarineLorD not only needs this because his opponent goes for a second TC, but also if he just has these longbowmen, they sit there and do nothing, why wouldn't you have just built more villages, built more buildings, got a better timing of a tech up, right? All this would have been better than just building 10 longbows, running them across the map, going, well, that didn't work, and running back. And I think this is a hard decision a lot of players fail at, is they see that they're equaled or outnumbered, and instead of continuing to poke and prod and find this kind of out-micro value, they just run their force back, and they say, I guess I'm on the defensive now. And they inherently, as a result, give over the lead they'd built. So instead, MarineLorD, he went in a little bit hardcore, was investing in more longbows, so in the end, he doesn't get an economical trade worthwhile. He didn't force Baguette to invest in more longbows, and because Baguette already has that one TC down, now things become troublesome for MarineLorD. And that's why he drops the outpost. He needs this station point, right? Soft fallback, you don't ever want to be pushed all the way away, and if you get engaged by the longbow army from Baguette, you want to have that evened up attack speed. Oh, look at it. This is a cool play as well. Look what he's doing. So Scout's trying to move in for vision. Drop the sheep. Drop the sheep right now. Okay, so he's not doing it. He could actually move the sheep in right now, because remember, like, the TCs don't auto-attack it. And that would give you vision as you slowly crawl in. The cool play that I've seen a few players do, if you shift the sheep towards the wood line and then crawl along the wood line, it's very easy to go unnoticed. And it will give you the vision for the longbows to pick you apart, because they actually have enough range to reach your villagers right now. But instead, MarineLorD will just back up. That means he no longer has that vision. He's going to lose a few of these longbowmen. He's keeping that pressure up, though. Baguette's safe for a while, but once this wood line's gone, he could have trouble. The problem is he's going to be very confident by the time that arrives, right? And right now, feeling confident about the attacks. Because MarineLorD, he keeps trying to poke and prod before he has the outpost up, so he doesn't have that attack speed on his side at all. More scouts. Just keeping eyeballs on what's happening. If he makes it across and feeds back that info, it's going to be very dangerous for MarineLorD. Because it means his whole hand's going to be revealed. Baguette probably suspects that MarineLorD hasn't gone for a TC, considering how quick his longbow will move across. But this is going to be the confirmation info he wanted. He's getting it as well. First of all, you see the windmill here. You don't see any sort of TC nearby. And as you shift in, see the blacksmith dropped already, and no TC forward at all. You're about 60% sure your opponent hasn't built a second TC. As he shifts around the back, he's going to get the full confirmation when he doesn't see anything here. Meanwhile, more outposts coming up from MarineLorD. He needs the ram soon, though. And I don't think... Yeah, he hasn't got the tech yet, right? Nope, no siege engineering. And there's the confirmation. And now it's dangerous for MarineLorD. He needed to snipe this scout. Hiding that information is very important. It means that Baguette has to play a little bit more reluctant about what he's doing. Maybe he needs to hang around with bigger force. But now he understands he's outscaling. Clearly outscaling. MLord currently outnumbered on the forward front here. Like the Palisade gate play, wants that flexibility to quickly just gap close if you try and run away. And now Longbows, wants to being picked apart. Nice move by MarineLorD. Catches Baguette not looking. And now he's on the stone. This is a recovery point. Baguette feels very confident. The problem is, look at this. Look at what MarineLorD's doing. Baguette's over-investing now. He's pivoting too hard. He's wasting a lot of time getting the initial mills down, and it means that MarineLorD is going to get a good timing on Castle, and that will even up this difference, right? That'll allow him to have that second TC, and then also, with the stone now being gathered, it could even be 3 TCs, which will give MarineLorD a rapid recovery time. It will leave him very vulnerable economically and militarily for 5 minutes, but because he's put down these outposts, because he has the forward network, Baguette will not be able to punish this greed that MarineLorD is about to execute with. And this is why he's allowed to beat, right? Think how many players would have continued to either slog longbows or they would just stopped off for a TC. MarineLorD instead, he cuts off at the right point. He forces an extra investment, now being up to 25 to the 19. And it means that Baguette is stunting himself. And when you see this many mills being dropped and this many farms being plopped down, you do feel confident you're making the right move. So MarineLorD now dropping the King's Palace. Is off the stone for the moment. We'll probably return to it afterwards. I think 3 TCs is fantastic here, but it looks like instead he wants to leverage the tech advantage. Look what he's doing. Trip racks. Going to be going straight into the man-at-arms, and look at that dive power. And there's a lot of exposed economy here, right? You've set into the farms already. You got the secondary TC with only 2.4k health, and that's the difference maker. There's a thin timing here for about 5 minutes where MarineLorD can just push the limits and break you. Because the difference between the King's Palace and the TC is the King's Palace is freely built, right? And if it's lost, you can always come back and build it. And also, it even has a little bit more health to just add insult to injury. Weird farm coming out from MLord. Oh, I see what happened. He had the inefficient placement, so he didn't get the final farm down. So Timmy, the farmer over here, is looking like he turned up drunk for a day of work. I'm going to build a farm over there. No, Timmy, that's wildland. I don't care. I'll farm bears if I need to. Yarder worker. And more pocket expansions. A few more villages out here gathering so much. And look at the sneak. The sneak from the snake. His longbows are armed with very hard baguettes. And they want to give it to you. And that's what he's going to do. Nice little sink in the count. And Baguette already being 10 eco ahead. This would be a big deal, but nice move away. Rams now coming out, trying to get rid of those forward outposts. Forward siege workshop being dropped, though. MarineLorD, this is big. A lot of players would not make this risky investment. Remember, it costs 300 wood, and at this stage in the game, that is a big chunk of your economy. Longbows moving out. They're out of their attack speed buff range, though. They need to be a little bit careful. They do still have the numbers, though, and it scares MarineLorD a bit. Outpost soon to fall. But Siege Workshop now building the Mangonel. The Mangonel could break this game. Baguette still doesn't have access. Look, he's still not ready either. He's continued to transition to more farmland, which means he's going to be a little bit delayed. He has to keep ample people on the wood line. And now getting the outpost to keep that attack speed. That attack speed is not going to make a difference if he gets the Mangonel out of this Siege Workshop. And right now, it will come out in time. And that edge could break you right now. Longbows, where are they? Where did they go? Did he just lose that many? Oh my. Oh my, oh my. He branched off with a few. He's gone to the back line to try and secure his deer. That's leaving him a bit exposed. Mangonel's going to come out, though, and it's a good shot. 8 missile resistance. That is most of your damage. All your damage, in fact. Every single one of these arrows only doing 1 damage means Baguette is in full retreat. And now he has to drop the white tower. And that's going to even up the eco count. It will stem the bleeding. Siege Workshop, in the meantime, is going to fall. He at least gets the 1 Mangonel out. This is problematic. The white tower is a good recovery point. Baguette, remember, this is a keep. It functions as all your military buildings. He doesn't have to spend wood building into a Siege Workshop. He can instantly build out these Springolds and counter out this Mangonel on the forefront. Speaking of countering out, Villager gets stabbed to death, shot to death, in fact, by the arrows, and this outpost will be a fat fail. Really important as well. You can see he wanted to have that wood expansion. He wants to keep up the natural defense and extend on the right side. And that's why MarineLorD is moving across. MarineLorD, Mangonel, shot. Decent damage. Considering there's no threat to you, and that gives you time to regroup now, and you have the Vet Longbowman. Baguette can't engage yet. He needs to tech up. So 30 seconds before he's ready to fight. This is something that MarineLorD will know and can exploit. He just saw the tech up. He understands he has the edge because he's been in castle so long, and he needs to push that. Mangonel shot in again. Not bad, not great. And now he also has the Man-at-Arms at the front. Man-at-Arms which haven't been switched into yet by Baguette. Baguette is behind. This is a problem. And MarineLorD moving up with more of these troops. Mangonel's preventing him from gathering on the food. Baguette does at least have surplus food to begin with, so he'll be able to afford everything. Springald is going to come out, and MLord needs to move away. He'll roll out there quickly, and he does just about have the movement speed to get away, as the Springald was not moving. Big mistake by Baguette. He could have clicked and then instantly moved forward. He would have sniped the Mangonel, and it would have been a big deal. But instead, now MarineLorD can repair it. Meanwhile, back in base. Still just pushing the normies. There we go. Finally does have the upgrade. I was wondering when it was coming through. And Baguette needs to be careful. He's about to be baited. Look at the fog. He backs up just in time. That was too close for comfort. He did not have vision on that Mangonel. The damage that could have done, the devastation would have allowed MarineLorD to rip through his forces. Dodges the bullet. Now Baguette will be able to pick dry this entire wood line. Needs to wall it off quickly as well. He still needs 2 to 3 minutes to recover. Baguette is doing a good job of holding right now, though. He's still ahead on the eco count by 6 villages, but it has evened up. Really big credit to the way MarineLorD has recovered this. He's not making it easy. He was not willing to tap out despite the early aggression failing. And as a result, he's dictating the flow still, even when we're approaching the 20-minute mark. Is backing up for the moment. So this should be maybe a planned transition. He needs a new Siege Workshop is his problem. Because his opponent did go into the White Tower, he naturally is going to be able to churn out a few Springolds here. I think the issue is that MarineLorD needs to be on the stone. He needs to have a forward keep. I think a forward keep could give you that leverage to push in off the back of it. It's a bit aggressive, and I don't necessarily expect him to risk a super hard kind of aggressive keep placement until, say, 100 eco. So I'd say something around the Sacred Sites could be good. You could try and cap those, force your opponent out. But it might be that MarineLorD is just waiting until he's 100 eco, and then he'll look to drop an aggressive keep near this stone outcropping. Right now, neither of them engaging in religion, and I think MarineLorD is missing a trick here. He could, yeah, there it is. This could have been happening sooner. He's going to get so much value because he's pressured his opponent in. And Baguette is still dealing with all these upgrades, replacing the farms that got burned, whatever else in his base. It means he's probably not going to invest 200 wood, followed by 150 gold each, at this point, into going for the temple into the priests. So you will have the edge to at least get the majority of these relics, and then probably look to capture the sacred sites, which, remember, they also give 100 gold trickle per minute. Mangonel shot. A little bit underwhelming. Not able to get the big shot. Stagger formation is good. And MarineLorD backing up, being charged in on by the Man-at-Arms, but is able to back away. He has so many Man-at-Arms of his own, though. So he's not too threatened by Baguette. He's just showing respect right now, as it is 3 Springolds. The monk should be coming out soon to gather their goodies. Siege Workshop has finally been built back in base. Is building more Mangonels. Wow. Okay, this is a ballsy all-in type play. So he understands that right now it is just this big cluster of troops. And if he forces the initial engagement, reveals his hand, baits his opponent in, and then Baguette clusters his longbows for maximum damage onto the back line targets, then he can actually counter that with a secondary Mangonel. And although you might lose the Mangonels to the Springolds in the end of the fight, it's the fact that 2 Mangonel shots basically breaks this formation. The Vet Longbowman, I think, survive on about 8 health, around that number. trying to think. So burst attack, so it's 36 damage. You're talking 2, you're up to 72 damage. Then the 1 range resistance, so you're doing 70 damage. So yeah, 10 health left overall. Very easy to finish off. You can pick them apart 2 arrows at a time. Moving in, battering ram's now being built. Baguette. Feels like he's in the lead. Feels like he needs to end this right now. And this is the danger of a Siege Workshop on your front. Look what he's done now. He's exposed himself. Anything he builds out of this is going to be sniped by 3 of these Springholds, and it will kill it instantly no matter what you build. And look at this wrap in the meantime. Backstabbing him. This is cool. He's breaching the reinforcements. He's forcing attention away from his base where the Mangonel and the Springholds are not. That Mangonel might get a good shot off. Will deter Baguette from pursuing. And his freebie so far from MarineLorD. Keeping the numbers fairly even. 57 and 66. Baguette still with the lead for the moment. And look what he's found on the side. The man-at-arms. Baguette is a very greedy boy here. And he doesn't know what's going on. Even the boar is on the side of Baguette, but it's still not going to stop the man-at-arms from doing their work. Wait, no. Wait, oh my god, the boar is attacking Baguette. Oh my goodness. Well, he garrisons the last 4, but a dent is made. And meanwhile, the main fight's going on. Mangonel looking for the secondary shot. Reloading right now. It's not revealed, but then he gets it with the Springholds. Chasing with the man-at-arms. Staying on top of the Mangonel. Trying to burn it down, and it will be successful. 1 more strike is needed. And the man-at-arms will stay on top of it. If he ever turns around, he's going to lose it. He might still lose it regardless. The final Hail Mary comes out. He's got rid of the Mangonels, and now the man-at-arms are in. Baguette, where is your front line? Oh my goodness. He was a greedy lad. He didn't build enough man-at-arms. And instead, MarineLorD, this is his Marine force. Wallalow on the side. At the back of the villages. MarineLorD, he gets the majority. He can snipe out the remaining and look to build up buildings here. And that's going to give him a full front of the back of Baguette's base. And Baguette might be forced to respond. In the meantime, man-at-arms charging forward still. 2nd battalion coming. Lombo's trying to get in range. Spearman trying to hold them back. Baguette right now is desperate. That was the importance of the gold line snipe. It denies him. He needed the extra, and the boar is still killing him! He doesn't know! He's so aggressed on the front. All attention is here. He clicked a bunch of villagers in, and the aggro never went away. Boar is MVP. MarineLorD, he bribed him. I don't know what he gave him. I don't know what Boar's wanted for this. But he snuck a gold pouch into the pocket of Mr. Boar. And Mr. Boar is reigning supreme. This is his gold. This is his swamp. Get out. Right now, I'll tell you what. I'll put it in Call of Duty terms. This guy is getting close to a tactical nuke. But his kill streak's about to come to an end. He at least called in a Harris right before he died. And that's a hard hit. Main fight is evened up. Mangonel now comes out from Baguette. But look at the dent. Baguette down to 81 economy. There is a 20-point difference now in favor of MarineLorD. And Benjamin the Boar, definitely the MVP of this one. MarineLorD retreats away with a few villagers on the back, so now he can do whatever he wants with them later. He can actually come back and set up a full base if he needs to. In the meantime, focus on the main fight. The Baron Ram investment, the Mangonel on the back foot. They just charge right through. MarineLorD has entered Leroy mode as the man-at-arms will run straight through. They'll whip a torch out of their butthole, and they'll lob it straight in the face of Baguette. The wraparound man-at-arms getting in range for the charge, staying on top of the Lombos. Lombos not able to move away. Crossbows trying to actually get the fire out, but there's barely any of them here. And MarineLorD with the one trick here, non-stop spamming the man-at-arms, is doing the work. Lombos barely feeling like they've ever been replaced. Man-at-arms is all he needed. And you can see that he is just being clubbed into the ground. And this is the frustration. This is the issue so many England players run into. They rarely ever go to crossbows, and he'd done it so late that now he's being punished for it. And this fort base could be burnt down pretty quickly. If the man-at-arms get in here and burn these siege workshops, it's such a heavy dent to your eco. You want to be spending that all on your siege weapons. But right now, look at the limitation. He has surplus wood, but gold is starving him. And because he got pushed all the way back, look at the response. Look at the move. MarineLorD says, fine, I'm done with that. I win this game by stunting your economy. And I know you've got a lot of outposts out here, but I've got a lot of man-at-arms. Those man-at-arms need to back away. Springhold's trying to snipe out the crossbows one by one. More racks being dropped. AFK Rams on the side doing nothing. And look at the sneak out. MarineLorD! He's going up to Imperial Age. That's why his army was getting so small. So that later on they can get big. That kid that got bullied in high school that eventually went to the gym and could bench press all those bullies combined. And right now, he's not just interested in bench pressing him, he's interested in snapping Baguette's back. And he's halfway there. Boccia Palace underway. Baguette, no sign of a tech up. He's going to be miles behind. Look at the numbers. Even with this heavy investment, once again, only evening up the count of MarineLorD. And that's the deceitful part. Baguette, he feels like he takes a good fight. He probably isn't thinking about it too much. He doesn't realize that he's about to be miles behind MLorD. And there it is. Imperial Age. England is about to reign supreme. And that was always going to be the case either way, but in this case, it's going to be the French spy in the English court that is going to be looking to slay Baguette. That sounds like a convincing story to tell England of your trust. Kill this French symbol. Prove your loyalty to us, and he's about to do it soon. Because Baguette, he's got about 5 minutes. 5 minutes to turn this around. But he needs it off the back of a fight. If that 5 minutes is spent teching up, it's still 5 minutes behind MLorD. And even a defensive keep, playing it safe. I like this out of MarineLorD. Not enough players think about this. He's vision stripped right now, right? He sees in this corner courtesy the outpost, the converted villagers, but nothing else. So what he's basically done is he's hedged his bets. He understands that with this tech up being complete, he needs to fall back to his base and rebuild his army. Because there's always a chance that Baguette is pushing out with a superior force, courtesy of the fact that he stood and stayed around at the castle age, but he's not. But he takes that preventative. He takes that defensive measure to ensure that now he can ride out and feel strong. Man-at-Arms should be upgraded soon. Tech is underway. 30 seconds out. Baguette. 2 Mangonels. That is not going to be enough for the Man-at-Arms. Longbows, not giving a good shot over Mangonels. Good strike into Baguette, though. And there will be a back away just in time. And in a matter of seconds, these Man-at-Arms are going to reach elite status. 10 seconds away. Mangonel shot, baiting him in again. The hits are good. Springle sniping out in the meantime. The desperation, you can feel it out of Baguette. He knows that control of this game is slipping away quickly. As is his Mangonel count. And 1 Mangonel from MarineLorD has got more value than 3 from Baguette. And they're in it now. The Golden Helms are here. Like something off of Jason's Argonauts, they're ready to go. And they are ready to slay the mythical Baguette beast. On the side, outposts continue to crawling in. Just giving them that full vision advantage and that attack speed buff even on the home field of Baguette. Baguette forced once again into Springles. But with the Man-at-Arms now there, so bulky, hitting so hard. How do you get through them? How do you ever have enough crossbows? Mangonel shot's going to be a whiff. That's a waste. Big mistake. And now MLorD looks to exploit it. Splits up into groups. Microing pretty well here. Heavy hit into the center, but it's only 1 Mangonel. He doesn't care. The double investment into Springles Baguette. He gave up the fight. This is bad. Double Springle coming out means he does not have the firepower to deal with the clustered up troops. And the Bombard now in the front. Mangonel's exposed. 1 more shot will put it into pieces. And now he's in trouble. MLorD will back up with the Bombard. Springle's going to be exposed. Man-at-Arms cleaving through the lines. Not many archers left here. And your whole military district is being worn on your sleeve at the front of your base. It's good enough. It forces the GG. And MarineLorD, despite looking a little bit wonky, looking like Baguette might come back in the mid-game, at no stage did he give him the breathing room to exploit his lead, to exploit his early TC, and possibly slay the dragon here. MarineLorD will take game 1. Actually, you know what? I'll be real. That timeline change, I'll give it to you again. That was not all MarineLorD. That part there was MarineLorD. This part here was Mr. Billy the Boar. Billy the Boar was MVP in this game. And MarineLorD, I don't know how you bribe a boar to do that, but I assume after that game, the boar can afford to buy his own mansion, and he deserves it. My God, the damage he done there. And it's so hard for Baguette. I don't want to flame him. I know some people are going to be like, oh, what an idiot. Didn't even notice being attacked by a guy unit. Imagine losing to a guy unit. Lamau. Guys, when you're in these high-level games, when you're microing on 5 different fronts, when MarineLorD especially, this is a type of high-pressure player. He's not going to let you have an easy time. He's not going to let you have some nice violin music on the background and let you feel chill and vibe. He's going to keep it high pressure. He's going to keep pings going off left, right, and center. And keep in mind that when you're being attacked in several different locations, it's very easy to forget certain details, especially when you consider you're looking at the map, and although you're getting an alert in that area, there are no units showing, right? The Gaia unit won't be marked as enemy, even though it was public enemy #1 for the Red English here. That detail is so frustrating. It hurts him so much here. It puts such a big dent in his economy that from that point on, MarineLorD was cruise mode towards Imperial Age and in control of this game. But guys, that is only game 1. We could easily still be treated to 2 more games here. Baguette, although he may be beaten in game 1, he definitely show signs of life. He definitely show a commitment to strategies and a possible way for them to pull off, but he's going to have to step it up. MarineLorD is looking to end his game quickly. He's been waiting around every time for his opponent. He's sick of this, and it feels like the frustration comes through as he pummels the crap out of them relentlessly while they scream mercy, a word you'd think a Frenchman would understand, but it's not in MarineLorD's book. And we'll have to see if Baguette has something in his book of strategies to slay the dragon here, or if MarineLorD is going to be very quick through to day #2 of Winter Series 3. It's game #2. Map #2, we are going to be going to Boulder Bay, and I think we already know what's coming next. We've had England, we've had one side of the channel. And as we know, that infamous 100-Year War, it was always back and forth between 2 countries, and that country is going to appear here, but it is going to be a civil war. Burgundy versus France. That's right. Game #2 here on Boulder Bay. It's time for some Hulk smash. We'll have to see if MarineLorD will be just a little bit too comfortable on his national civ, on his good old cozy civ that he's been stomping. He brutalized so many players in Winter Series 2 with, and now we'll see if he can do it again here. And while Baguette has shown some capability. Remember, we saw him peel it back and easily dispatch Zertan, chill into the late game when he last played Boulder Bay. But I don't know if this game's going to go as late. MLord finesses his timings very well. He's also not against the idea of early land rushing with something like scouts and looking to burn your dock at the beginning. We've seen him do that to multiple opponents, and it is gruesome to watch. So it's something that Baguette is going to have to be aware of. And look at this, MLord's already in, and he's animation canceling. Uh-oh. So you might already lose a villager. It looks like he'll shift away quick enough, but is it going to be an investment? 2 scouts already. No 3rd scout yet. We have actually seen MLord go up to 4 scouts in the past to be able to just burn down a dock. I think that the infamous game from Winter Series 2, which you guys should definitely check out, I believe it was between him and Lucifron. And Lucifron was forced to invest in, I believe it's 8 scouts total. And MarineLorD was besting him with 4. Yeah, that's definitely something to go check on. To understand just how scary this guy is. You can tell that he had a history as a StarCraft player, because this lad be spooky. There's a reason that he's infamous for his microing already in the Age of Empires 4 community. The dock's already going down. And when we look at the deep water fish... Oh! Sorry, I had to hold in my food there. So this is... I just want to check. Is this... So these seeds, by the way, folks, are usually confirmed by the EGC team. I guess they have a handicap setting. 1 game down, up against MarineLorD. This seems fair. I mean, I know it's kind of boring having the same player win every single one of your tournaments, but EGC, come on. Rigged game? Oh, we'll see how MarineLorD handles this one, because boy got done dirty. And then some. I wouldn't say he actually won anything on land either. Same amount of wood spots, although he's a little bit more conformed, but still as easy for Baguette to wall off over. What? Even on land, he's better off. Look at this. Look how many breach points you have into your base that you have to wall off. Meanwhile, in Baguette land, he twirls his fake mustache as he only has to wall off 2 tiny pieces. Relics are a little bit better, but I don't think that's a big deal in a France-on-France matchup. The gold is, what, even? Yeah, I'd say this is fully even on the gold. There's no edge there. Even the berry bushes aren't in MarineLorD's favor. There are so many layers to this that I want to strip apart. Well, you want to keep a game competitive? I guess there's one way to do it. One game down, we'll see how he holds. And here come the scouts we were talking about. And he's spamming them. This is it. This is how he does it. This is the filth we were looking for. He'll out-micro him and he'll out-spam him. And now you're in trouble. You need to get more scouts or you're going to lose the dock. And you're going to be burnt off the water. Here we go, the animation cats. And this is the play we were looking for. This is why MarineLorD is so scary. If you do not mirror him, if you do not engage with this, he will run you through. And the problem is, I have not seen a single player more consistent with his microing, with his attack canceling on scouts than MarineLorD is. You can tell this guy begins his day doing animation canceling as a minigame. I don't know how he keeps track of his high score. He probably just keeps track of how many kids he made cry in pub games. And I have to imagine the count is quite high. You need to defend it. You can't lose the dock. At this stage, it would screw you hard. But MarineLorD is not going to allow you this. He has to get rid of this, right? He understands you're teching up. And he made the investment. This was pricey. It slowed down his eco count, right? Because he had to invest to get scouts every 18 seconds instead of villagers. And he paid 60 each time. But this is the bang for buck. You already paid for 2 scouts by doing this. You're shutting out all this economy, this 7 fishing boat fleet that is not going to be returning for at least a minute. And if you try to rebuild, he's going to hunt it. And here you go, straight up the river. Or straight up the water coast, right? Like, where are you at? This is like a horror show right now. What's happening here is he's playing one of those hide-and-seek type games. MarineLorD is playing as the spooky horror villain. And BageTT is the innocent teenager that just wants to have fun. Well, we've all seen Jason. We know how that one ends. It ain't going to end well. He's trying to get more scouts out. He blocks him in, but he can move away. Oh, MarineLorD, he blocks himself in. And now he's outnumbered. The micro, though, the damage being done right now. This is not efficient for BageTT. He's losing the fight. And the scout pushed him away. That's why he had the number advantage, because MarineLorD shifted one off to chase down the Villy. And now he's got a full health scout. And that's giving him the edge again. And he's done it again. The fishing fleet have no point being here. The scouts are gone. BageTT is miles behind now. MarineLorD is going to be able to deny this dock from going up and kill a villager in the process. And that school of cavalry cannot help him. Scotty McScout has done it. MarineLorD, in no time at all, taps BageTT out. And he is done with day one. No time waiting around. MLord, Lord of Micro. That is what the M really stands for. 6 minutes and 32 seconds. And half of that was time spent by BageTT crying. Because there was no coming back from that. We've seen it at MarineLorD before. And anyone who has watched his game footage understands that he loves doing this. And you have to engage with it or you lose the game. And BageTT, there he is in chat. Commiserations, lad. You made one hell of a run. I saw the bracket. You had the hardest options to go up against in some cases. Kellerzor wasn't going to be easy at any turn. MarineLorD waiting for you at all times was a threat. And at every turn, just waiting, smoking his pipe, looking sophisticated, going, who must the MLord take next? Well, he takes you on Boulder Bay, and I mean, this is scary. I've only seen one player respond to it so far. That was deeper in the tournament. I believe it was Lucifron. And even then, even if you manage to beat him out in that trade, he's so on point with the start step, with the animation canceling. You end up investing double in the scouts that he does. And although he's sacrificing an early timing, he's proving exactly why this sort of rush in the early game isn't cheesy. It's the exploitative nature of these naval type maps, right? These water hybrid maps. And he's not afraid to engage with it. It's very gambler, it's very all in, but that's the difference. I think that's what puts MLord ahead of a lot of players. Too many people become obsessed with giving themselves a safe fallback, right? They're looking for a way to recover the game 10, 15 minutes down the line, like, oh, I'll invest in a little bit of harassment, but I'm going to scale. MarineLorD isn't like that. MarineLorD is a very exploitative type player. He looks for any weakness and he looks to push it. Think about game 1. When he was up against Baguette, England on England. I think Baguette will probably give note to this as well, right? When you was trying to put the passe walls down, he blocks with a scout and he runs in with a force, knowing that you could probably wall up past him and block him in. But the point is that he's looking to exploit the values invested at that stage. He's not concerned with what's going to happen 5-10 minutes down the line if it doesn't work. He's so fixated on what's going to happen 5 minutes down the line if it pulls off. And I think that is what makes him the scariest player in this tournament. I still do not see any other player that consistently to that degree plays hyper aggressive. There are some varying examples. I think Lucifron and Vortex are the two standouts right now, and it's no surprise to me they all come from a craft background. These are players that will look to exploit any early element to out-micro their opponents, and I think that is what is making the craft boys so scary in this Age of Empires compared to like AoE 2, which is a very different style. And it's surprising as well, because AoE 2 had its own levels of micro, especially around range units, for example, but the speed, the momentum of which he plays is phenomenal to watch. Commiserations though, Baguette. You gave it your best. Keep at it, man. I'm loving the stuff I'm seeing out of you. Ever since I cast you in the pub series up against Calp in the Roos on Roos engagement, I've been liking what I've been seeing out of you, and I think the scene just needs more players to thrive through, because I want to see that new generation. I think MarineLorD, that was definitely the toughest draw. Like I said, he's won win at Series 1, he's won win at Series 2. Right now, to me, he is genuinely the scariest player in Age of Empires 4, hands down. I think him, the Muslim, Lucifron, and Vortex, to me, are like the ones to beat. And they are not letting up anytime soon. They're the spooky lads at the top of the leaderboards and the top of these tournaments time and time again. So hopefully we will see you in more tournaments. I think you maybe made it deep enough to get a few points together, so you might even qualify already. But otherwise, I think you got the potential to get through the open qualifier. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed what you saw here, make sure you subscribe on the YouTube side. If you're watching the YouTube side, hello. Hello. You could be watching this live right now like these lads are. Even Baguette, all right? The player you just watched came to this channel to tell me I'm a poopy brain. But that's fine, all right? He's entitled to his opinion. See there, how you could have been part of that. But if you're not, if you're just going to stay on the YouTube side, make sure you go for the additional videos. Make sure you enjoy what you saw, because there's plenty there. And thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully, I will see you again in the next video, hopefully in a few seconds.